This is Automated Thought.
Hey everyone. Well, by now you've probably heard the big news from yesterday. There was a shooting in Alexandria, Virginia, near the nation's capital, where some crazy nutbag named John Hodgekinson decided it would be a good idea to gun down a bunch of Republican lawmakers who were practicing baseball. Among them were Representative Steve Scalise and Senator Jeff Flake, along with many other people. Conservatives, of course, are rightly horrified, but many are going completely hysterical and claiming that this is the beginning of some new civil war against the violent left. Obviously, I feel that's completely overblown, but if dozens of Republican lawmakers are gunned down in the following days, I will certainly admit that I was wrong. A lot of conservatives are trying to tie this to the left in general, as if John Hodgkinson was speaking for anyone but himself when he decided to do this. And a lot of people on the left are saying, excuse me? This is another fucked up, angry old 60-year-old white guy. What the hell does he have to do with me? Nothing. In the following days, I'm sure we're going to find out that John Hodgkinson was a sick bastard with all sorts of personal problems and financial problems. And you're not going to find some website where he talked about this crap with thousands of other Bernie Sanders supporters, fantasizing about violent revolution. You won't find it because it doesn't exist. Conservatives, you are right to be horrified at this. I'm glad that you are. This could be some kind of teachable moment for you. Now that you've seen what this sort of gun violence actually looks like, can you stop with all the liberal hunting permit garbage? Can you stop giggling when your crazy oaf of a president says that he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and you'd still cheer for his dumb ass? Could you stop listening to crazy assholes who classify every shooting except this one as a false flag operation and who get their money and fame by peddling insane conspiracy theories when the exact same thing happens to school children? Can you stop pretending that attending rallies like this isn't really creepy and doesn't make you look like a complete psychopath? Can you stop saying that attacking reporters is funny and awesome? Can you just stop with all the rhetoric about Second Amendment solutions and watering the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants crap? See, that's what John Hodgkinson was doing, you know? He was trying to water his own little tree of liberty with the blood of those that he perceived as tyrants. Conservatives, you talk about this shit all the time, but then when someone actually does it, you start quivering like little angry sacks of jelly and saying, no, that's not what I was talking about, that's not what I want. So why do you always fantasize and fetishize this idea of striking back against the government with gun violence? Because what it looks like in real life, outside the movies, is a random terror attack by a disturbed wacko. And that's all that it will ever be. Because the heroic scenario in your mind where you and the millions of other Duck Dynasty fans get together and engage in a protracted campaign of guerrilla warfare against the government, it will never happen. And you're complete and utter imbeciles for thinking that it ever could. Anyway, we at Automated Thought wish Steve Scalise and the other victims a speedy recovery. We hope that Steve Scalise can go back to his regular job of supporting the lack of legislation that makes shootings like this all the more likely, and advocating his crazy worldview that everyone should just have a gun on them at all times. Because if a crazy man decides to mow you down on a baseball field, why, it's easy. You'll just draw your own gun and kill him in self-defense. Sometimes this shit just happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. Jeez.
And you know, I barely even touched on the Sandy Hook comparison. Imagine, conservatives, if after this event, dozens, hundreds of liberal websites put forth the view that this was all a false flag operation. That Steve Scalise was not a real person, just some actor paid by Donald Trump to pretend to be shot, all to make liberals look bad. You see, we don't do that. Only your side is capable of such rampant insanity.